Hey Taurus, this is Leah with Half Moon Tarot. I will be doing your April 2024 reading. I've already meditated over the cards and asked that Spirit bring whatever is necessary for you to hear, for you to know, expect, and be prepared for. So Taurus, coming into April 2024 is really going to ride the energy of March. So if you haven't listened to the March reading, go back and listen to it, which has been a trend so far because it happened to Aries right before I did this reading. So your last reading, Old Memories, New Hobbies, it's really coming back around in April. And I think that in March, if I remember correctly, it was like, yeah, just go and, create these new hobbies because things are coming up for you and just have fun with it. It doesn't need to be monetized. It is something that is going to be, intimate just for you. And it is just going to be your little getaway, right? And I believe in that reading, I said something was going to come up for you in experimenting with your old memories, right? So, in this reading, traditionally, yes, aces means something new is coming up for you. But once I really started to look at the culmination of the cards, I was like, this doesn't feel new, right? And it's coming up in two different ways. Okay, Taurus, it is coming up in a way that this is something from the past that you're picking back up in a way that it could be something that is good for you and then something that is not so good for you. Okay, so let's start with the stuff that's not so good for you. So, a vice, right? So, drinking, gambling, smoking, sex, drugs, alcohol, all of those things. Okay, and the stuff that could be good for you is the stuff that we talked about last month, right? So something coming out of your hobbies, okay? Either way, the Emperor comes out and it talks about discipline. Okay, so this could be, if it's something that's not so good for you, Taurus, this is coming up as it is testing your discipline, right? It is testing how we show up for ourselves, how we make a commitment to ourselves, because we can talk the talk, but are you willing to walk the walk? Right? If this is an addiction that has come up for you in any type of way, and let's just face it, we're all dealing with something that we're addicted to, right? So if it is an addiction that is coming up for you or something that you know in the long run is not going to be good for your mental, physical, and spiritual health, then how disciplined are you around it that you can move forward knowing that you've made the decision that is best for you and your health, right? If this is something good, how is it that coming from March and the energy that we are in March, how has it changed the way you look at your own discipline around what it is that you want to do, especially for yourself? Right? Because we can start something for, a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, and then we kind of fall off, right? Just think about like your New Year's resolution. We make a resolution in December, and by January 15th, we're off of it, right? It's hard sticking to something that you really want because there is a journey that gets us there, right? There are ups and downs that get us to what we want. There are hard times and great times, right? That get us there. But we usually fall off during the times where discipline is not involved. So, Taurus, for this month, it looks like discipline is going to be your theme, right? And the way you show up in the space of discipline is really going to determine how the rest of at least this month, it could determine the rest of the year, right? But at least this month, how do we build this relationship with discipline? And if it's something that you are going to do for yourself, right? It all comes back to what are you doing for self? Then we get to the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is going to be like this door opening, I don't know if we expected this door to open or we were working toward this door to open, but either way, the more you stay in discipline, the more this door is going to crack open or it could bust wide open. Okay. But going back to the Ace of Wands and the Emperor, this thing that comes up for you, it's like, whether it's good or it's bad or it's not so good or whatever range of scale you put it on, it is testing your discipline, right? So are you going to pick that habit back up, right? Are you going to carve out time for yourself this week? Because all those things are equally disciplined, right? And if you start to not make self the priority, know that the world isn't going to make you a priority, right? The world is not here to make space for you. You have to make space in it, right? That's why there's so many of us here. So you have to start making your own way, and the only way you do that is through discipline. Okay, Taurus? And I want to kind of stay on the Seven of Wands a little bit because I don't think you understand the gravity of this door opening for you. The gravity of you showing this discipline within yourself and what that is going to do to the mindset. What is that going to do to your work ethic? What that is going to do on how you show up and how you do things, because that is where that's the key to unlock the door, right? Because the Seven of Wands talks about doing things in several different places, right? So doing things across states, doing things across country, doing things, maybe you have something that you want to do that is internet based, right? And it's all because of the Ace of Wands, right? So even if it is a habit, even if it is a hobby or habit, it is going to open the door for something bigger to happen. Like, I can't even get off these first three cards because it is like, I don't feel like I have hit the gravity of in words of how this can open a door for you, right? It is like you going through these hardships of the discipline, right? And I don't want to make it sound like dun dun dun, you know what I mean? But it is in a space of like, in order to get to those that play easy part, you got to work the hard parts, right? You work hard so we can play easy. So all of that in the Emperor card is going to bust this door wide open. All of that playing hard is going to make the easiness of the play. I'm sorry, all of the work hard is going to make the easiness of the play just so much more fruitful and sweet. Okay? And it all started from your own story, right? It all started from your own experiences. It all started from your own firsthand knowledge of what it takes to get to the end goal, right? And this is the part where you should be paying attention. This is the part where you should be journaling. This is the part where you should be taking a special heed to what it took you to get out the bed to go to the gym in the morning, right? What was that thought? What was that need? What was that want? What was that drive? Because the Emperor is like that passion, that fire, that fuel, that spark within you that gets you up and out. So what was it? Take note of it because you're going to need it later, right? And it almost looks like, coming into the Three of Swords, it looks like there was, again, two things happening. There could have been a heartbreak there. There could be something going on with your root chakra. There could be something going on with your heart chakra. There could be something going on with your self-esteem. Who knows? Only you know, right? So it is all about this Three of Swords, examining the origin of how we got from the hurt to the triumph, right? The hurt to the practice of discipline, right? Now, the other thing that comes up with that Three of Swords is the wisdom, right? And Three of Swords rarely ever gets looked at as the wisdom, but for me, it has been my learning card that leads to the wisdom, right? And it is like, how do I want to show up today? Right? Do I need to be the aggressor in a situation? Do I need to be the observer in a situation? Do I need to be the hero in a situation? Do I need to be the villain? Right? It is all about how, from our experiences, from our habits and our hobbies, we learn how to show up, right? For ourselves, not for the world, but for ourselves, because remember, we are making a way in this world, okay? And it all is going to come through your discipline. Now, the Ten of Swords, right? We all know the swords are an explanation of air and how we see things, how we speak, how we listen, you know. So when it comes to the Ten of Swords, it is all about knowing through this discipline, you're going to have to walk this pathway alone, right? And when that clicks, and when you realize that is you with you having to discipline yourself, you having to argue with self, you having to fight self in order to improve self, this is where the ego goes to mature. It doesn't go to die. It is a maturity of our ego, Taurus. So going through all of this is why I said it's very important for you to write these things down, for you to journal about these things, because we are going through this maturity of our ego in order for that door to open. Because if that door opens too soon, we could fuck it up. We could fuck that opportunity up, right? But because we're going through the self-discipline, because we're going through these aha moments of how we're going to show up when that opportunity starts to knock, when we start to turn that key in that lock, we're going to know exactly the way we need to show up, who we need to be, and how we need to step forward, right? This is not to be confused with faking it until you make it, right? Because we're not faking it. We're going through all of the emotions, through all of the highs and lows in order to get here. And there is nothing fake about me when I step into that opportunity, right? It is like you have stepped into something that was created for you, right? You had to get to you in order to step through to that, right? And it's going to be hard for some of my Tauruses to go through this because it's it's going to be easy and hard. I can't explain it to you. That's why you have to take special note to what gets you out of bed to get to that thing, right? That's the discipline in it. Then we get to the El Diablo, right? The devil card. And again, there's these two pathways that we can go down, right? And with the devil card, it's like the devil card talks about like these risks and pushing ourselves to take these risks, but it also talks about falling into this pit of our own self doing and a pit of all of the choices that we've made that had nothing to do with the discipline, these easy choices, right? So that's what I mean about taking note of it, because the devil is in the detail. The devil is in the detail of it, because there were times when you could have chose to take the easy way and snooze that alarm, right? Or get out of the bed and do what you needed to do, right? Because it was easier for you to do it later instead of doing it now. It's like you got to do the hard part now, Taurus, right? And the devil and the emperor, they're like these reflections of itself. And it's like, yeah, you can do the easy thing or you can do the self-discipline thing. And sometimes they're going to switch out roles. So sometimes one is going to be the good cop and the other one is going to be the bad cop, and vice versa, right? Because some days you're going to want to take the easy way, because taking the easy way could be the compassionate pathway for you, for yourself, right? And sometimes the more compassionate way to go is going to be in the self-discipline way, right? The other part of the devil card, because we can know that there's easy choices, there's also risk, right? And with no risk, there is no reward, right? So if we're going to risk this moment for a later moment, you have to make sure that it's worth it, and take note in that too, right? If I'm going to risk my success, if I'm going to risk this opportunity, I have to know that I have a plan to pick it back up, right? I have to know that there is a plan for me to be able to not drop the ball, right, Taurus? Ooh, this reading giving me chills, Taurus. I love this. I love this. So just to recap, Taurus, whatever your habit or hobby is, notice how it has changed your self-discipline, and what can we do to be more self-disciplined, take more risks. Notice the details. Notice what is pushing you into this space of opportunity, and how and who it is that you're going to be when you step through that door of opportunity, because you got to be that person. We can't fake it till we make it. We can't half step. You have to fully step into who it is that you need to be in order to get that opportunity. Okay. And we're going to take that hurt, and we're going to take all of those things. We're going to start to balance our chakras. We're going to start to address the things, the heartbreak that has gotten us into this position of our habit or our hobby, and we're going to start to pour into ourselves. That's where the discipline and the risk and the opportunity and the ease comes in. Because here's the thing, we can't just have self-discipline. We have to have the ease too. We can't just be hard. We have to have the risk, right? We can't just be straight and narrow. There has to be some squiggly lines in there as well. So it's like you have to do both of these things, Taurus, in order for you to get that opportunity. Okay. So, Taurus, this has been your April 2024 reading. If it resonates with you, drop down in the comments. Let's have a conversation around it. Other than that, I'll see you next month. Bye.